Hi guys, welcome to the 5 great games that you might have missed.
Number 1, Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. Lord of the Rings, The Third Age is basically Final Fantasy, but set in Middle-earth, with Middle-earth characters, races, and it's just amazing. It's like a Final Fantasy game where the story makes sense.
Turn-based combat, nice levelling up of stuff inside the characters and weapons, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the only criticism that was ever level against it really was that you had to grind some of the abilities a little bit to get them to advance, but that's common in an RPG. I don't understand why it wasn't a bigger hit.
I definitely remember fond days, as it was on the PS2
Yes.
at the time, fond days of watching my housemates play that game, fighting people climbing up ladders, and ending up with a massive face-off to Sauron.
Yeah, you actually hit the Eye of Sauron, which was
It was the bit I liked. I mean, it was just an epic turn-based game, and it's something that a lot of people didn't like at the time.
No, but I did.
Number 2 is This War of Mine. It's a game I recently found on Steam, but I think it's been around for a little while. It's kind of like The Sims, but in a kind of a 2.5D kind of way.
And if The Sims was the most depressing game ever.
Yeah, it really gets you in the feels. You look after maybe 2 or 3. You start off with 3 people, I think, or you can change that. 3 people in a kind of war-torn country, and you have to find food to survive, have water enough for people to drink. If they can get drunk, sick, tired, injured, and go off scavenging. And it's a game that you really have to think about what you're doing and who's doing what, the same way as you would do in The Sims.
Mm-hmm.
But you are looking after a number of people. More people can come in, the more successful you are, and you can lose people when they die. And when they die, you actually feel a bit responsible because you've probably sent them to their death. But they have feelings, they have responses to certain situations. It's just a game that you can get yourself lost in for hours that you just don't know what time it is. It's one of those beautiful games. Beautiful soundtrack, really nice score surrounding the whole thing, and the characters are just random faces, but they are obviously movable humans on screen.
Yeah, what I like about it is it also gives you a number of difficult decisions to make where there's no real good choices, and you don't really, and that comes back around again. So the consequences of the decision you make, it could result in fractions between your survivors, or it could result in raiding parties.
Yeah, you can certainly get raided at night, so you have to put people on watch, but they have to sleep at some point as well. It's just a game that has lots of bits to affect the decisions you make, and it's awesome. Check it out.
Number 3, Dark Star 1. Originally released on PC and then ported across to the Xbox 360, I believe, Dark Star 1 is a combat space simulator, very much in the vein of something like Freelancer. It's mouse driven on the PC. You aim using the mouse and you turn using the mouse. It's really intuitive. It's the voice acting shit, I'll just be upfront about that. But it's got a storyline where you're going after your father, you're teaming up, and there's these invaders that are coming in. But one of the interesting things is you actually pick up these modules and your ship actually grows. You don't buy new ships, you just choose which bit of the ship is to evolve to the next level, and it gives you more turrets, or it gives you more front-facing guns, or more agility or power. And it's the kind of game I lap up because you can just turn it into a beast any way you want and then just rip ass through the universe.
Everyone likes a game where you can level up,
Yeah.
and make yourself a badass, omnipotent of power.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out.
Absolutely.
Number 4 is a game which I like to call a beautiful game, Bastion, from Supergiant Games. This game was released in 2011, and it was just one of those beautiful games you can just get stuck in with. It had the most beautiful narration you could ever find and soundtrack in a game. The game, you'd have a guy describe what you're doing as you're playing it. It felt so natural and organic, and it didn't feel scripted at all. It felt like someone was narrating your experience in the game. It was beautiful for that point.
Yeah, I haven't played it for very long, but the narrator is definitely a standout. He's the most memorable part of the game for me.
If you go down an area that you've been down before, he'll say it in his gruff, almost Morgan Freeman type of voice, and he'll make you feel like he's noticed what you've done in the game. They've actually got some code that's recognised you doing a certain action or going down a certain path. That's fucking kudos to you guys at Supergiant Games for doing that. The game sort of populates itself as you go into areas, so the floor, you can't sort of see the map, you have to kind of walk down there and the floor will just sort of happen in front of you. So it's a really beautiful way to discover the game and not go just looking at the map and go, right, I'll go around that bit. You can actually have to go to that place and it populates in front of you. Some great mechanics of the gameplay and the combat. It was nice and difficult enough without it being too overbearing. The narration just kept you going all the way through. It was a nice little story. It's not that old, so you could probably still pick it up on Steam. I believe it's on PSN and maybe the Xbox Store.
Yeah, I think it was originally on the Xbox Store.
Yeah, so it might still be there for you to get hold of. Check it out, it's an awesome game. Recommended by me.
Number 5, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel on the PS2. This was an amazing game. It was a third-person action game that had all the elements you've come to expect from the Fallout games. It was made by Interplay, who had previously done versions of Baldur's Gate on the PS2 in much the same way. What it is, you're playing your little mushti from an isometric view, you're doing missions, you're doing quests, you're shooting mole rats, you're doing all that good stuff from Fallout, you're managing inventory, getting some new weapons, and it's all in flowing 3D. It's lovely, and it was sorely missold. Baldur's Gate, big success. Baldur's Gate, not so much. Bro, still not so much. It's sad.
It's sad. Who doesn't like Fallout? Fallout is one of those franchises that if you like one of their games, you're gonna like them all.
Fuck, I need to check my shower. Be right back. Sorry about that, mate. Little bastard, stop shagging on me.
It is a problem. But guys, thanks for watching. That was the 5 great games that you might have missed.
Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And any comments, we'll have a read of.
Catch you next time.
Take it easy, guys. Caused a riot on the internet and several petitions. It is, of course, the ending to Mass Effect 3. The reason why it's such a bad ending is the entire series was predicated on player choice. And the guy that did it, Casey, he said it's not going to be
Num. The whole thing up. Unfortunately, it was crap. The guns were too big, the view was terrible, you couldn't run and jump enough. Lee, I hated it. It could have been so much better.
And you had to buy the additional monsters as well.